using Insert Learning with your Hyperdocs when you are ready to add a little more extra to your Hyperdocs. So if you're not familiar with the Hyperdoc, basically it's a Google Doc or a Google Sheet that is much more than just your traditional one. As you can see here from all these different links and features and like questions that are mixed within it, and especially a lot of the formatting. It's much more interactive and engaging for the students, and the layout really does a lot for that, of helping students kind of really focus on the important different parts. So where you can find them, a great starting point is just simply hyperdocs.co. And from there, what I did is I went over to the samples. And so here they've got kind of broken down by different subject area, and you can find a lot of different ones. Definitely get their book. And so what I did was I went and selected this one of Manifesto Hyperdoc. Now I want to mention here, it's really important, Insert Learning works great with the Google Doc ones. It does not work with ones that are made on Google Slides. So make sure that if you're using Google Doc, or if you create, or if you're making your own Hyperdoc, make sure you make it on a Google Doc and not a Google Slide. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one. So I'm just going to click on File, Make a Copy. And you can use Insert Learning on any Google Doc that's out there. So now we have this Google Doc. What I'm going to do, you can make any changes that you need to on here, but I'm just going to use this one as is, and I'm going to load the Insert Learning extension on top of it. Here it's going to prompt you now to publish the lesson, or publish the Google Doc to use Insert Learning on it. So I'm going to say OK. So Insert Learning, you have to publish your Google Doc before you can use Insert Learning on top of it. And what that does, it just kind of turns it into a kind of like an interactive website. And one of the different things too is that instead of now making a copy of that Hyperdoc for each of your students, all of your students will be working off of one, because that's the one that your Insert Learning lesson will be on top of. So here, one of the things I want to do is, because this currently is linking out, because you can't embed videos into Google Docs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the sticky note. So I copied that link. I'm just going to click on there. Close that one there. And now we've got the actual video there. So students can now click on it and then start going through that one. So here's another one of Explore the Text. So highlight parts that stand out and then post what it means here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this, and we're going to open this one up. And so we'll need to make a copy of this document. And we can do the same thing now. We can actually use Insert Learning on top of this one. What's going to be nice is that now, instead of having, say, like, 50 different copies of the same Google Doc, you need to go through each student's. What we'll do is we'll just use one, and we'll have students all annotating on top of that one. So I'm going to click OK and publish. And now again, here's that same text. And what I did was I had copied the instructions from before. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm simply going to paste my instructions there. And I might go back to the original Google Doc and kind of remove that highlighting, because now what students can do is they can go through and they can highlight, and they can change the colors, they can add notes to it directly, they can add the little emojis on there. And as a teacher, as a teacher, I can go through and then actually see what it is each student highlighted on top of here. So you'll get a little icon right there. But I'm also going to add in some like help right here for my students. I'm going to go to our quick lesson ideas and go down to Annotation Instructions for Students. And so we actually already have a lot of stuff here, but the one that I want is this. So I'm just going to copy that URL and heading back here. Hold on, that one. Just going to paste in that YouTube link right there. So now students can actually watch this video on how to use Insert Learning to annotate. And again, it's going to be a lot faster to be able to view those annotations. All right, so we've got that one. So now we can update that and simply say, hey, you're going to head out to this one instead. So I'm going to assign this, assign it to my class. Let's say it's going to be this one. I copy my link. There we go. And jumping back over here, let's put in a little note. Go here. There we go. And then post the line and what it means to you here. And so instead for this one, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put in, now here we can do a question, or we could do a discussion. For this one, I kind of like as a discussion. Discussions means that all the students in the class can see each other's responses, but it's just for the class. So I'm just going to copy that, paste that here. There. post it. And now this becomes a live discussion within your class. So now what we can do is you can now start linking out. So here then it has a couple more videos. So you can then select which videos maybe you'd want to embed and which ones you'd want students to go out to. You can also use InsertLearning on the YouTube videos. You can use InsertLearning on Commonlit, though they have some questions that might get a little bit confusing there. And then here, right, so you get a free response. We can now add in a question. And what'll be great is that now all the responses are going to be collected right here. So you can click on View All Responses, and we'd see everything right here or in your teacher dashboard. And so as we're going along, now we can kind of take these things. So we're not redoing this Hyperdoc. This has got a lot of great stuff in it, but now we can start to augment what was there and do things like embedding the videos and modifying and really kind of streamlining your assessment and evaluation piece, and also just getting a better feeling for what students are doing, because now you can have one centralized location where you're seeing students' responses, and it's all on top of that Hyperdoc. So that's how to use InsertLearning with your Hyperdocs, whether you've made them or you found some awesome ones over at hyperdocs.co.